everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about Final Destination Bloodlines, the first Final Destination movie in over 14 years, which is crazy. And I'll be honest, I don't really feel one way or another about this movie. It was very paint by numbers, kind of Final Destination formula. And nothing about this movie really stuck with me once I left the theater. It was very fun, like shock value gore fest that you expect watching these. But at least back in the day, when I would watch these movies, I would leave, being afraid of shit. I would be afraid of flying, or trucks, or the highway, or tires bouncing off a wall and hitting me in the face. Like, these movies, kind of the point is to instill this irrational fear of everyday situations, and this movie doesn't really do that for me. And we all know the Final Destination formula at this point, right? So this movie tries to do something a little different and ask, hey, what would happen if one of the survivors went on to have families? Would their family now be involved? And this movie does touch on the fact that a lot of these people who survive these premonitions are traumatized, and how that trauma can build into generations moving forward. And these are all good themes, good ideas, but to me, I just feel like they were all done a bit too surface level. And I know it's a Final Destination movie, so I shouldn't be reading that deep into it, and I'm really here for for the crazy deaths. But at some point, you're gonna have to give the audience something to actually care about. Otherwise, it's really just we're just waiting till the end here. I just feel like the whole draw of these Final Destination movies was everyday situations turning into death traps, right? And trying to create that feeling that when you leave the theater, you should be afraid of everything around you, because nothing's safe, you know what I mean? And this movie, it doesn't really, everything feels so specific to these people. Just a lot of these deaths felt out of place to me, and not in the Rube Goldberg aspect of it where it's this wouldn't happen, just more so in the I wouldn't personally have this happen to me because these people are idiots and I would not. I would not do what they're doing. And yes, that can be done intentionally. There was this interview with Ryan Coogler and Jordan Peele.
Storytelling is knowing where your audience is at. If an audience is watching a horror film and they know they're watching a horror film, they'll yell, "Get out the motherfucking house."
Yeah.
If they think they're watching a romantic comedy, well, they still might, but they,
it's kiss him. Go with it.
Yeah, right. Go kiss him. Right. So
go.
So much of it is about, for me, audiences' expectations of what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And if you're working with genre and using it, it's all because you're trying to feed future moments.
And I'm not talking about that. I'm saying in this movie, I'm watching it like I would be scared, except the leaps that we had to do to get to this point didn't really make sense for the characters or for the audience, I'm not trying to say they did a bad job with these deaths. I don't know what I'm trying to say, to be honest. That's what I was trying to say earlier, is that I don't really have any strong opinions for this movie. I just have some nitpicks, and I feel like if they decide to continue the franchise, maybe work a little bit more on the plot. And I feel like it's easy to get gruesome deaths. Just try to make them make more sense, or at least be more grounded in reality. I just felt like none of the things that happened in this movie could happen to me, and I think that's where this movie went wrong. I think they were working with a lot of good ideas here. They just didn't really execute them in a way that I feel showed effort, if I'm being honest. It was basically they just took the easiest route for every single death and the whole story. And listen, it was streamlined, it was short, and I did not feel like it dragged at all. I just feel like after 14 years, they could have come back with something a little stronger, but that's just me. That being said, I think everybody in this movie did a really good job acting-wise. Everyone nailed their parts, if you ask me. And I don't even remember, honestly, the characters' names, but I was believing all of it. I wasn't believing how fast we were moving in terms of emotional arcs, but I was believing the performances, so, take that as you will. If it's October and you're looking for something to watch that's spooky and slasher scary, it's if you're looking for something fun to watch that you haven't seen yet, I would definitely check this one out, but it's not gonna be memorable. And honestly, maybe I will go back and rewatch all these movies and try to get a better understanding on what the core of these films are. But if I'm not afraid of going out into the world after watching these, then you didn't really succeed in making a scary movie. But that's just me. That's all I got. I'll see you guys next time.